And we are back in the garage. Today we are working on setting up the car to get tuned. We have finally getting around to scheduling our tune session. And so today we are going to install our ECU and all of our accessories that go with it. So we have our Link's ECU, we have our housing because the Link's goes inside the OEM housing for the ECU, but we don't want to ruin that. So I went and got a additional housing, and we're going to put that in there, and it should just mount on. We have our trigger kit that we're going to be using because we're staying basically stock style, so we're just using this kit with the OEM sensor. We have a wideband with the Lambda controller. We have new injectors, which actually I need to order the adapter harness because I am not cutting my harness to get the housing for these top mount plugs to go in. There's a little adapter that you can get from Nissan to this. I think this is Oscar, USCAR. I don't have those, so we'll probably do this last. Then we have just some cable extensions. We also have to swap our HKS boost controller. We have the EVC7. The tuner has asked me to go ahead and install the Max style, which is one of these, so that he can control tune boost with the ECU. And then we just have some cam connection adapters. So these are basically extension cables for the cam connector. So this plugs into this plugs into this plugs into the engine, or something like, oh, sorry, the ECU, something like that. And yeah, this basically gives us a lot more just wire length to get this type of sensor installed. We're going to be installing also the tuner has asked us to install the sensor in the rear O2 housing, which is basically this one right here. So that's pretty easy. So we got to take that off, put the Lambda, mount the controller somewhere in here. I'll figure out a path, maybe, I don't know, maybe here. We'll see. And then run the wires through the grommet into the ECU that's located here. So yeah, a little bit of work to do, but we have to get the car ready. So we don't have a lot of time, so let's get going. And we're back in the garage. We have been pretty busy putting the ECU back in, or in the car. I've been super focused and not really taping a lot because I don't have a lot of time. I need to get this car ready to go to the dyno in just a few days, and right now I still have a lot of work to do. But I wanted to give you an update on what we've been doing because it's a mess right now. So let's take a look real quick. All right. My flashlight's dying. Perfect. Well, anyways, here's the computer. All right, so the computer's installed. We got all the wiring in. I got the cam lambda plugged in. This is my boost wiring that I need to connect to the expansion loom. Let me show you how things are looking. Here's my other flashlight. This flashlight does work. Okay. So we got the this flashlight's kind of dead and dying too. But anyways, cam lambda is connected to the back, the rear turbo where the O2 was. That was a pain to get into. My hands got cut up real bad, but it's okay. We have our fuel pressure regulator connector. No, not sorry, not fuel pressure regulator. Fuel pressure sensor connected and wire through the wireframe to the firewall. So on the GTRs, there's only one grommet that goes into the cabin that is easily accessible underneath the wheel well here. There is not one on that wheel well. The closest one is behind the ABS unit, and that's a pain in the butt to get in. So we chose to route everything through here. Right now, I have the cam lambda module right here. I'll have to figure out something better, nicer looking for that eventually. We removed the HKS boost controller and connected a Mac that is going to be wired into the ECU. That's the wiring, the red and white that's in the passenger side right now. And then over here, I am making my harness. So here's my harness connector that I just made for the fuel pressure sensor. So this needs to go across, wire to the ECU, and then the boost controller needs to be wired into the ECU with a 12 volts. So I'll have to do that as well. And then what I am using currently is Amazon has a bunch of kits, so I'm using this kit to kind of set up my wiring. Works pretty well. So I have that kit with this tool. Works really good. Then I got some essentials like so heat shrink tubing, and then some sleeving to make things pretty. We'll also be installing, once everything's wired in, our Webland. Shout out to our homies at Webland. They make these amazing products. They're cam gauges that can display whatever you want. So this is the specific one for the R33. It goes where the clock is. So this is pretty cool. I'm excited to install that. And right now, okay, so what's left to do is the wires, finish the wiring. I have to, the tuner has asked me to remove the trigger, and I have an NZ trigger kit. It uses a 24 tooth wheel, basically replaces this chunky guy that's somewhat unreliable, I guess, for the tuning. So he prefers something more analog like that. The AEM, if I wanted to keep this, it just replaces the wheel. In the back, the 360 degree tooth wheel that's on the OEM ones, it replaces it with a 24 tooth, I believe, a wheel. But we have the NZ trigger, so it replaces this whole thing and kind of cleans it up. So we have to install that. We have to remove the fuel rail, install the new injectors, and I've been waiting on that because I don't want to splice my harness. So I have a couple of adapter kits that I'm hoping are just plug and play. So I got this kit, and then the homies at Wiring Specialties hooked me up with these guys. So I got a couple of options. So we'll have to do that as well. But right now, what we're going to do, because it is super late, it's a weekday, and I just go home, we're going to install our HKS coils to remove the igniter. Right now, we're running all brand new OEM coils. So, but the tuner has asked us to move into a more non-igniter coil setup. I got fingerprints everywhere because my fat fingers have been working on the engine. Anyways, so let's get to that. All right, so we got the coils out. These are all brand new. I had just put in a couple months ago. We put in new coils, and we put in a brand new harness. This is that Nismo Heritage harness. So these are all new. right here. But the tuner has asked us to go ahead and install the HKS coils because we want to delete the igniter. So here is the HKS Superfire Racing Coil Pros. We will be installing these next. So they come with the bracket. So that bracket replaces this bracket. That's pretty cool. And then the coils themselves are right here. Let's take a look at what they look like. So this is the looks like this is the harness. Trying to do this with one hand is difficult. All right. So here we got the harness. So this replaces this harness. You can see it's specific for BCNR. What else we got in here? We got the mounting tubes. So these replace these things. That's pretty cool. They're beautiful. Anodized red. And then we got the hardware. Some gaskets and hardware. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna have to put this together. And then in the other box, I'm guessing this is the coils themselves. Let's see what this is like. Here are the coils themselves with the HKS logo on them. All right, so we got to put this together and then get ready to install it in the car. Here's what the car looks like right now without them. Everything looks pretty good in there, so no concerns. But yeah, let's keep going. All right, here we go. We got the coils installed. Pretty straightforward install. Super easy to do. So the next thing that we have to do, and we won't be tackling this today, just because it's pretty late now, but I am not going to run it without the valley cover. So here's our HKS EVC7 that we took out. This is also another piece that we had recently bought a couple of months ago, but you know, we try things. If they don't work, we move on. We want to use the valley cover, so I have to modify. Essentially, this piece here needs to be cut, and I don't have a good cutter to do this. So I'm gonna have to figure something out because this is, I don't want to ruin it. I like so we'll see what that ends up looking like. I gotta get something to cut this, just because the back now has all of these really thick wires that come out, so that needs to be cleaned up because otherwise it won't clean. This section here won't clear. So for now, we're just gonna run it like this until I can modify the valley. It looks pretty cool. But yeah, let's keep going. All right, we're back. And today we are continuing to prep the car for the dyno. So quick recap, coils are in, wideband, Mac 3-port boost controller. And today we are tackling the new injectors. So I got the fuel rail out. Fuel rail's out right now. We also need to replace the cast with the NZ wiring one and wrap up the wiring inside the car. So here we have what we're working on right now. So we have new 1050 injectors. These are injector dynamic ones, ID 1050s. They're pretty good. Everyone recommends them. And then this is a really cool piece. Our friends over at UP Garage make a bracket to mount fuel pressure regulator. Fuel pressure sensor to the OEM fuel rail. So we've gone and installed this, pretty straightforward. This is the sensor right here. And we got the injectors all wired in or mounted, ready to go in. We had been waiting on this because here are old injectors. They don't look great. But we were waiting to do this particular install because we were waiting on here we go, this guys. So we have two versions. We're gonna try out, see which ones mount the easiest. We have these shorties, and then we have these long guys. They're essentially the same thing. It's basically an adapter that goes from the new injector type mount. I'm not sure what these things are called, but the harness mount bracket, I don't even know what the right word is, to an old style. So these are the old Nissan style. And the reason we want to use that is because normally what you'll do when you're putting new injectors, you end up swapping out these connectors. So these are still have the harness or the mountings to the adapters to the old style. And to do that, you can unpin it and do all that stuff, but I rather just keep it as is so I don't mess with the original in case I ever want to go back. So I can just put it all 100% to stock without splicing anything. And so we're just using a intermediate adapter, so that way things stay plug and play. So we were waiting for those. They're here now, and so we just gotta put this back into the car, make sure everything lines up, hook it all up, make sure. Hopefully, I didn't compromise any of the O-rings like the last time I did this. I compromised this guy. I was really careful putting the injectors in, and yeah, wrap this up and then continue to the wiring. Let's get going. All right, so right now, this is my little diagram that I drew for myself in order to help me figure out the next step, which is the wiring. So these are all the lines on the expansion loom that go straight into the ECU. And here's how I need to basically wire my fuel pressure and boost controller. So the fuel pressure has 3 lines. One of them's an input, which we're going to use this volt 2 as the input line. Then we need a ground, and we need a 5 volt. And right now, it'll be green, red, and blue. So I need to make an adapter for that. Here's where we are with the wiring in the car. It's a mess, but it's working. So here's how I have made this little harness, and it comes all the way from the engine over here now. And essentially I have red is voltage, the black is the ground, and then the white's the signal. So now those will go into this guys, and I gotta make basically the female version of these guys so they can connect here. And then the fuel pressure should be sensor will be basically done. Then the MAC is this line here. So white is signal. This is 12 volt. And again, this white one connects to one of the lines here based off my little drawing that I have. And then the 12 volt will connect to an auxiliary. Basically, it's somewhere in here. I got to take this off, but it's where I have plugged in the HKS power supply for the harness, so it's like right behind here. So I'll just reuse that since we're taking the HKS EVC off. Yeah, this is completely new to me, but we're having fun doing it, and it's exciting. We were able to basically get the injectors put back up. Everything's good. Turn the light on. So Injectors are back in, fuel rails back in. This is what the adapter looks like with it mounted on. Here's the sensor. The wire is going underneath. I put some zip ties just to kind of hold it for now, but I don't like the way that looks. I'm going to figure something better, but for now, that's just good enough. And it all goes into this corner here because there's the grommet that goes into the through the firewall, and it goes across. That's essentially the easiest path to do this. So yeah, we just got to do a little bit of wiring, and then we should be able to test some things. I'm hoping that everything's tightened. I torque everything down, but I'm always weary of touching the injectors because they're super sensitive. We already had once an O-ring failure on the last one, and we had a fuel leak, and that's a mess. So yeah, so right now we're focusing on doing this last bit of wiring, and then we should be able to test voltages with the ECU to make sure that the sensors themselves are getting picked up properly, because I've never done harness work, and it's not that it's complicated, but I'm just not confident right now, so we'll see how it works. Well, let's keep going. All right, so I didn't realize that the mic was not working, so I have to do a voiceover. So here, Freddy came over to my house to help me set up a base map. We were basically had to get the trigger stood up, and then we reset the adjustable cam gears that I had in the car. We advanced and retarded both of them a couple of times. But it was a pretty basic setup. I'm super grateful for Freddy to coming over and helping me in my house on a Sunday. What a champ. But he was quickly able to get a base map going so that we can drive it to the dyno and get it ready. There's a 32 in here. Some Brega Masters. All right, so this is where we're landing. 429 with 375 at 17 psi. It's a really good looking curve. We have almost 200 horsepower at 3,000. So right at 4,500, things start to get really gnarly. So safe, reliable, pretty solid. All right, so Freddy just finished. She's running good and healthy, right, Freddy?
Yeah. Super conservative. I could tell you're a little nervous. But once you get the new built engine, then we can be a little more aggressive with it.
Yeah. This is just step one for this for now. We have different plans for perhaps next year. But this is a good run right now. She'll run real clean, healthy, safe, and it'll be fun. Definitely with gaps and Corollas. Thanks a lot, Freddy.
No problem, dude.
All right. So we're back and we want to close this video. Car's running amazing. We got the lip back on. We actually ended up having to repaint this because it was so cracked, had cracked, and the finish was coming off. So I was able to refinish it. But yeah, so here we are. Car's running amazing. Big shout out to Freddy from Spectuned for helping us get the car tuned. She runs awesome. As you saw on the dyno day, everything came out great. So yeah, next time we'll be tackling some suspension components. We also have something that's in the mail. Hopefully you'll get it in a couple of days and we'll make a video about that. We'll keep it a surprise. But yeah, super rare special piece that's coming in. So thanks for sticking around and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.